Hey guys, welcome to another recap of The Amazing Race. This was a great episode. They went from Switzerland to my daddy's homeland, Dresden, Germany. They had to take a train there. So they ended up having to meet up at the Ministry of Finance, where they would choose a Ford Fusion. Heavy product placement there. So everybody was on the same train, but Bates was the only one who got his bag stolen on the train. WTF is up with that? How is that even possible? But it didn't matter so much because he had his passport on him, so he can continue the race. When they got to the Ford Fusions on the dashboard, I guess it has like this text feature, so they had to answer 3 questions to like activate the car, and they were all about the Berlin Wall and Ronald Reagan telling Gorbachev, "Tear that wall down, Mr. Gorbachev." I remember that like it was yesterday, and that happened in Berlin. So once they figured that out, some of it was easy for others. Thank God it was multiple choice, because I don't think some of these cats would have been able to figure it out. So they had to drive to the Brandenburg Gate where that famous speech happened by Reagan. And then when they got to the gate, there was another clue that said, "Get your butts to the roof of the Park-In Hotel." So when they got there, they found out it was a base fly. Uh-oh, hot dog. That is one of the main reasons why I would probably never do The Amazing Race, because I think I would literally urinate in my pants. That is scary. All right. I was really surprised. There were no freakouts, or at least no freakouts made the edit. I'm sure if there were, it would have made the edit, but apparently there weren't. So after everybody did their base fly, there was a detour. It was either train trials or font follies. So in train trials, they had to go to the old train museum and build a train set. And once that was built, they had to send their train through the entire set one whole time without it derailing. Now the only team that picked that was Joey and Megan, and it took them 2 tries to get their train through it. So that wasn't too bad at all. Now, Font Follies, you had to go and pick up a billboard letter and transport it to the Billboard Letter Museum without breaking it. They were pretty big, too, and awkward. Everybody else chose this, but Bates and Anthony, they broke one of their letters because they, like, left it unattended. I don't know how it got knocked over. Maybe it was the wind. Maybe it was some German. I don't know. But they had to, well, they had to go back and get another one. And they decided that they weren't going to do that. So they ended up switching tasks and going to the train task. And it took them 9 friggin' tries to get their train through the entire set without derailing. Ouch. Well, the next stop was a saloon. They called it a salon. It was pretty much a dive from, it looked like it was stuck in time from the 70s, possibly the 80s. And it was kind of a speakeasy. I call it kind of a rave flop house, but just to get into the secret labyrinth, they had to say who said "Ich in ein Berliner," which is "I am a jelly donut." That is the literal translation of that. And they had to identify John F. Kennedy as saying that. So once they got in the labyrinth, well, first let me tell you about the guy who was the doorman. He was creepy. The way he pressed the coin into everyone's hand to get into the secret door was the creepiest thing I've ever seen on the race. Ever. Okay, then when they got into the labyrinth, it was like the secret world of Willy Wonka when they went on the Oompa Loompa paddle boat and chickens were getting their heads chopped off, and it was just freaking weird. They ended up being crapped out into this white room with some clues on the wall in empty picture frames. Now, just getting there, Mona and Beth got lost, but they eventually found it. But they found themselves also neck and neck with Bates and Anthony. Yeah. So let's talk about the pit stop. It was at the Fifth Avenue of Berlin. They love me in Berlin, baby. All right. You probably don't know what that movie is from because it is so remote. Max and Katie came in first, and they got an awesome freaking prize. This is probably one of the best prizes that they can give on the race, and that is each of them got a Ford Fusion. That's hot. Second place, Joey and Megan. Third place, Carolyn and Jennifer. Now, like I said before, Bates and Anthony and Mona and Beth were neck and neck. And Mona and Beth basically were leading Bates and Anthony to the pit stop. They just followed the ladies because they didn't know where to go. And they knew that if they just followed them, when they finally got there, they'd be able to overtake them in a foot race, which is exactly what happened. So that sucks for Mona and Beth. But it was non-elimination, and Phil totally used the fake out. It was a better one than usual, though, because he was like almost saying that Bates and Anthony had to take a penalty or something. But no, the bad news was just that they're going to have to keep racing with them. So it's a speed bump for Mona and Beth next time. And next time is where? What? Scotland? If it isn't Scottish, it's crepe. I know you know where that's from. All right, so until Scotland, much love.